Right there. That's how you do it.
Today on X-Play.
Oh, hello.
Sam and Max return from the road. Warhammer battles for something. And we crack down on that game that came with the Halo 3. Be embarrassed of your own taste. Ah! Go! It's game time.
I love this country.
Prepare to be reviewed.
Adam Sessler. Morgan Webb.
Prepare to be reviewed.
Prepare to be reviewed. This is X-Play.
Hello and welcome to X-Play.
We think it's still X-Play. The television industry moves so fast, it's hard to be sure.
But in an ever-changing world, there's one thing you can rely on. People sending you links to videos they think are hilarious, but you will probably just find boring.
And that we do video game reviews.
Reviews of such games as Warhammer, The Battle for Atluma, bringing the fun of tabletop gaming to a PSP near you. And we'll show you a trailer from Lord of the Rings Online, attempting to bring the world of MMORPGs under the dark sway of Lord Sauron. And later in the show, we'll review Crackdown, a free roaming crime shooter for the 360.
But we begin with a pair of sassy cartoonish partners we haven't seen much of since the 90s. Now, we're not talking about Robin Williams and Nathan Lane in the Birdcage. That game franchise never really got off the ground. Rather, I am referring to Sam and Max. Here's our review.
Sam, a hard-nosed hound trying to keep 2 steps ahead of a pair of concrete leg warmers.
There's justice to be served.
Can we get ice cream afterwards?
Max, 2 deranged nuts short of a Manson family tree.
I'm known for my fuzzy white butterfingers.
The doll that brought them together.
I think they meant murder.
And a chicken.
I'll be in my dressing room refreshing my muse.
Okay, the chicken is way too silly. Sam and Max awake from their decade-long nap to rise alert, refreshed, and broken into 6 episodic pieces, ready for easy digestion. We're looking at the first 3 cases to give you the skinny on this old pair of gumshoes. The complexities of detective work boil down to the most simple of movements. You point and click. It's pretty self-explanatory.
We don't really have time to explain it to ourselves. Why don't you just explain it to us?
Fine, bunny boy. Like a schizophrenic Shih Tzu, you'll find yourself pawing at anything and everything not nailed down. It's not enough to saunter into every situation, pockets bulging to their limits. Look past the battered brown edges of the proverbial box.
No!
Lick that card. Put ketchup on that cake. Shoot that cheese.
Take that, you law-breaking dairy products.
Sam, no! The cheese was innocent!
So what is it about these defective detectives that will make you want to lay down the green?
Can you believe we get paid for this?
I love this country.
It's the writing. So few games now take the time or effort to make every interaction a surprise.
I don't suppose you have any candid photos of little green men feeling frisky, do you?
Does the carpet match the drapes?
No! And you know why? Because the man doesn't want them to. He's threatened by their potential unification.
To make every person worth talking to.
My mama said I was beautiful. Hello, I'm Cuddly Bear. Want to play cards?
Do you believe in magic? 'Cause I do.
I was in Nam, boy. You don't want to know what I've been through. They slaughtered ladybugs. Ladybugs! And that's not all. I seen them kill larvae. Larvae!
Huh?
And the fact that I can do this.
Nachos.
They're mine, nachos.
Nachos.
They're mine, nachos.
And not be completely bored.
Nachos.
They're mine, nachos.
But the real accomplishment goes to the developers who have resurrected a couple of beloved characters without compromising on the slapstick. Or the irreverent humor.
Did he get the notes I sent him?
Yes, but he said to stop carving them into the suspects.
You think that little talk show bear had a litter of giant babies? Look, Sam, Mr. Hot Weenie's eating a hot weenie.
This rampant weenie cannibalism turns my stomach.
Is she the saint of sterno-heated fried food? Because if so, she may have another follower. Make sure they're lightly damp to the touch. The wombats, not the secretions.
That made them a cult hit so long ago. Coming up short, about an hour a pop for each episode, is their major felony. Top-notch voiceovers, inventive puzzles, zany humor, but always a feeling of wanting more. That's why we're giving the first 3 Sam and Max episodic tales 4 thumbs up out of 5.
Well, here we are, Max. The TV station with programs too old to be contemporary, too new to be retro, but consistently derivative enough to be popular.
Television's so mindless, you can't help but watch.
The nice thing about this series of episodic games is that it actually does look like they'll be coming out in pretty rapid succession.
Unlike the Half-Life 2 episodes, Episode 1 came out like a year ago, and despite all of the promises of a Fallout 6 launch, it now looks like we won't be seeing it until the second half of 07.
I know, and that's no fair, Valve. Learn to deal with deadlines. Sessler and I have to crank out 3 episodes a week. It doesn't matter how tired we are, and does not matter how drunk we are. We have to get them out.
Yeah, and we know if you crank out crap, we will call you on it. But that's only because people are constantly calling us on the crap we pull.
I still get letters about the tricycle of Kwanzaa.
So, if we have to meet deadlines and get scrutinized, so should you.
For a game we're excited about that will get released in the foreseeable future, here's a first look at Lord of the Rings Online.
The paths of good and evil lie before you. There are none who are completely pure of heart. Even in the most honorable, evil can take root. When the eye of Sauron turns upon you, what will it see? Everyone has a dark side. Will you surrender to yours? The Lord of the Rings Online. Shadows of Angmar.
You know, however much I may love Tolkien, it's going to take a lot for me to invest myself in a new MMO with World of Warcraft expansion so freshly installed.
But by the time Lord of the Rings Online comes out, you'll have your Blood Elf Pally to 70 and be tired of her and feel like getting some real high fantasy elf action.
And it'll give me an excuse to brush up on my Quenya.
Al Elbereth Gathoniel. That's Elvish for I think kiss a girl into a college.
Up next, Warhammer Battle for Atluma on X-Play.
The elves created the Luma crystal.
I'm gonna kiss it better.
She reeled him in.
Why are you taking pictures of
He appears to have boogie-oogie-oogied until he just can't boogie no more. It's Adam Sessler.
Welcome back to X-Play. The city of Altoona, Pennsylvania was once one of the great railroad towns of America's mid-Atlantic region. During the first half of the 20th century, it was a powerful engine of industrial America, churning out something Wikipedia didn't know, and I refuse to do non-Wikipedia research. But then, America's manufacturing industry went to live in the Southeast Asia, and everyone moved away from Altoona. With no citizens left, the city imploded into a swirling vortex of urban decay. Now, scientists speculate that it will eventually be sucked into the much larger Pittsburgh swirling vortex of blight by the year 2057. I mention this only because Altoona is the only thing I can think of when I see the title of our next game, Warhammer Battle for Atluma.
Warhammer. When you hear that name, you probably think of, well, nothing really. But here's a refresher. Warhammer is a fantasy franchise that started in 1983 as a tabletop game. However, the series branched out into other areas, like collectible card games and video games based on collectible card games. Which brings us to Warhammer Battle for Atluma, a game that painstakingly recreates the thrill of shuffling cards. Fortunately, there's an opening cutscene to save us from this tedium.
In an effort to close the portal through which the forces of chaos threatened, the elves created the Luma crystal.
Not that we really expected anything original from a Warhammer game, but seriously, guys, power crystals? As long as you're rehashing fantasy cliches, why not bring up waystones and islands at the bottom of the sea?
They activated the waystones situated around the island and sent Atluma to the bottom of the sea.
I just threw up a little. You can play against buddies locally, but there's no option to take this deck shuffler online. Do obsessively organizing your deck and shopping in the store count as minigames? One Twilight Fellstalkers card, please. And while you're at it, can I get a bag of cheap cash-in and a PSP of infinite misery? This game is so boring that watching random footage from Gen Con is more entertaining. Maybe it would help if we show some explosions from Crackdown. Our review of that game is coming up later in the show. Stay tuned. Okay, back to Warhammer. If the tiny cards give you eye strain, you can turn them sideways for a closer look. Hooray! The target audience for this game is a mystery to us. It only appeals to hardcore fans of the collectible card game, and those people can already play with the cards that they already own. Unless you add slick presentation or online play, what's the point of converting it into a video game? Warhammer Battle for Atluma gets a 2 out of 5. Most people don't realize this, but Adam wrote several novels set in the Warhammer universe under the pseudonym Ivana McQueen before he started hosting extended play.
It's all very embarrassing. See, I had always hoped to work in the world of high-class licensed fantasy literature. You know, Xanth sequels, novelizations of Vin Diesel movies, classy stuff. But after I wrote Black Dawn of the Elfborn, I realized it was just a dead end.
I would never sell out by commercializing my writing, which is mostly erotic fan fiction set in the universe of Murphy Brown. But one should create art because you believe in it, not for something as crass as money.
What about something as crass as a lot of money?
Oh, I'm done with that.
Coming up, the games you're embarrassed to admit you love on X-Play.
Or log on to governmentmoneyclub.com and find out now!
She enjoys harvesting taro for its edible corm. It's Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play. Now, commercials teach you a lot of things. For instance, commercials during Gilmore Girls have taught me that women love yogurt, calcium, and things that are favorite song on the radio good. The sponsors of Gilmore Girls would have you believe every woman in America spends all her time dreaming about warm socks, sipping international coffees, and chatting about her feelings. Now, I would like to tell you as a biological woman, that's not true. I haven't had a feeling since 2003. For the record, it was remorse. But for those of you who just love Nora Ephron movies and TGI Fridays, here's our look at guilty pleasure games.
Oh, hello. Do you scratch your gaming itch with a Wii, a PS2, or a PC you've totted up like a dirty whore? Well, whatever your persuasion, there are fine, many respectable games out there that you can play. Thank you. But a gamer's heart must go where it leads, even if that is into the arms of a game of ill repute. One you never display on your shelf or take home to mama. These are games I like to call guilty pleasures. Guilty pleasures. Take, for instance, this morsel full of sunshine and bouncing beach balls. I'm a mature gamer with mature taste, but DOA Extreme 2 is a sugary confection feast of empty calories. Sumptuous mini-games offer the simplest of pleasures. Oh, and there's girls in bikinis if you like that sort of thing. But a man cannot live by DOA alone.
How dare you?
Witness 3,000 years of Chinese history stripped down into a mindless button-mashing experience. Hardly a fulfilling game. In fact, she's pretty shallow. But I can't keep my hands off Dynasty Warriors 5.
Aha! Go! Go!
I know it's wrong. I know Gears of War is right in the other room. But I can't resist the sweet, sweet temptation. The romance of the Three Kingdoms, the tigers, those special moves. I must confess that sometimes a gamer hungers for something smaller. Here, it may be frowned upon, but on certain street corners in Thailand, you may be able to score Animal Crossing on the DS. Sure, there's not much of a story, and the only goal seems to be decorating your animal town. It seems aimless, juvenile, even deviant, but I can't help myself. Super Princess Peach sings a special siren song of seduction for even the manliest of gamers. The princess struts across platforming puzzles. She stimulates that Mario urge. When you're with her, the jumping, the timing, it all feels right. But the nuns say boys aren't supposed to play those games. Well, today, Sister Cecilia, I'm going to be a princess. Oh, sure, I've regained consciousness in the Amsterdam red light district back alley with a copy of Zoo Tycoon in one hand and a dead Wiimote in another. But no social stigma's gonna keep me from playing the bad games that are, oh so good. Because I believe if it feels good, play it.
Guilty pleasures.
If you take pleasure in something, it shouldn't be guilty.
If you like something, admit it. If you feel guilty or embarrassed about it, you're just letting society at large quell your inner desires.
And Ayn Rand would say that makes you a useless cog of society who'll never do anything great.
Which you probably are, but that's no reason to act like it.
So, trust your own judgments just as long as they don't differ from ours.
Yeah.
In a moment, Crackdown on X-Play.
Your indiscriminate killing of the innocent is unacceptable, Agent.
TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
You. G4 is like that, basically.
They say goldfish have no memory, just like Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play.
So when they told us they were releasing beta codes for Halo 3, of course, we got excited.
But we never for a moment thought the game you had to buy to get the beta code would be any good.
Yeah, but wonders never cease. So here's a review of Crackdown for the 360.
This is war. A war on crime.
Welcome to the near future. As you may have expected, it sucks.
With a world on the edge of anarchy, all forms of policing across the globe combined forces to form the agency.
Well, that's scary. In Crackdown, it's your job to make it suck just a little less by killing every single gang member in a 10-mile radius, because it's not assassination if you have a badge. The overall goal is to eliminate the leaders of Los Muertos, the Volk,
and the Shy Gen's enigmatic Wang.
Wait, what? Can we show that?
And the Shy Gen's enigmatic Wang.
That's better. Luckily, you're not just a run-of-the-mill cop with the New World Order. You're a super-powered cyborg with regenerating shields and the ability to evolve your skills as you use them. Translation: if you kill a guy with a gun, your firearm skill improves. If you kick a guy to death, your physical strength scores the experience. Kick enough people in the head, and you'll level up that ability.
Your physical strength is increasing, Agent.
So while you start as a skinny little wuss, by the end of the game, you're a 9-foot-tall engine of justice who can lift trucks and cause agency vehicles to morph into the Batmobile. Also, you can jump really far. At this point, you're thinking, this is all well and good, sir, but I find I harbor reservations regarding the purchase of a GTA clone at this juncture, or something like that. Good news, Crackdown is not a GTA clone. Yeah, it's an open-world sandbox game, but the superhuman powers set it apart from stuff like Saints Row and Just Cause. Plus, it resembles Mercenaries more than GTA. There's no real story to speak of in Crackdown, and the game is light on the satire, heavy on the action.
And the Shy Gen's enigmatic Wang.
Right. It just plops you into a huge city and says, go nuts. There are 21 underworld bosses you have to eliminate, but you're free to progress at your own pace in any order you like. As you approach a gang boss's stronghold, you'll get a data file on them. Assaults on gang strongholds are the most intense battles in the game, and there are numerous ways to approach each one. I prefer going in the front door. The goal of each is to take out the leader of said stronghold.
Hey, there's Martinez.
Not a problem. The only real character in the game is your contact at the agency, who starts out providing you with valuable advice,
Low armor, Agent.
and quickly progresses to nagging.
Your indiscriminate killing of the innocent is unacceptable, Agent.
Finally, settling on non sequiturs.
A dead freak is a good freak.
The battles with gang kingpins are great, but there are also foot races to complete, hundreds of hard-to-reach orbs to collect, and of course, tons of things to destroy.
And the Shy Gen's enigmatic Wang.
Oh, knock it off. Crackdown distinguishes itself by giving you superhuman abilities that are easy to control, but the well-designed city and pitch-perfect physics means it's easy to make your own fun. Here at X-Play, we enjoy the occasional round of exploding gas tank freeway gymnastics. Nice corkscrew. Into the highway sign, points off. Ooh, two at once. That's a distance record. And if you get lonely, hop on Xbox Live and join a friend's game. Crackdown can be played cooperatively from beginning to end. Let's hope GTA 4 has a co-op mode as cool as this.
And the Shy Gen's enigmatic Wang.
That too. For injecting new life into a now aging genre and for being the closest thing we'll ever get to a good Matrix game, Crackdown nets a 5. Out of 5.
This is remarkable.
I love X-Play replays in the springtime. I love X-Play replays in the fall.
The Sam and Max games got a 4 out of 5 because they have great production values, but they seem a little expensive for how little content you get.
Warhammer got a 2 out of 5 because it's a boring card game.
And Crackdown got a 5 out of 5 because it makes you feel like you're a superhero in a New World Order universe.
And remember, you are all superheroes in the X-Play universe, just ones without interesting powers or costumes. Sorry.
The following is a paid advertisement for the Bioforce, brought to you by